in the chat room, Ben, if Yuki's fast enough to qualify and finish in the top 5, Red Bull might swap him and Lawson before Alpine. Zach Stewart for Colin Pinto. P18 for Lawson is brutal. I gotta say, that was the biggest shock in qualifying was seeing
Yes.
Lawson struggle like that. Liam Lawson made multiple mistakes, including getting into the grass. That eliminated him from Q1. Last time Red Bull saw one of their cars fail to get out Q1, Mexico City 2024. So not exactly the good star mar that they were anticipating. The elimination from Q1 already raised doubt about Liam Lawson.
No, this is his first weekend with Red Bull. Let's not forget the mistakes that Verstappen did when he started and the damages he did. These rookies need time to learn and adapt to an F1 car, and probably by the middle of the championship, we can start to look at their performances. He needs to be persistent and not to fall into self-doubts. Otherwise, a strong driver like Verstappen will destroy him on track.
I definitely agree. I think it's too early to say for certain whether or not we should have any doubts about Liam Lawson because it is so early in the season. If he is still getting consistently eliminated from Q1 and Max is not, let's say in Miami, then I think we can, look at this a little bit more critically and a little bit closer about like what Red Bull needs to do as a team to kind of switch that performance around. But at this point in time, I think he just needs to start to feel comfortable with the team and with his car. And once he does that, hopefully we'll see some major improvement.
I think we can't judge Liam Lawson too early because this is the first time that Lawson has stepped foot into an F1 car in Australia or even raced in Australia in general, whereas all the other 19 drivers have raced in Australia either in F1 or in any of the feeder series with F2 and F3. So I think this is just a race where he can learn the mechanics of the car, learn about the track, see what he could do to improve on performance. And even if he gains a top 10 position, then that'll be really good for Liam Lawson in his first race. And I think it's good that Christian Horner's not putting that much pressure in the first race, which is really, really great to see. So, yeah, like someone was saying earlier, we all, Verstappen made mistakes. Quite a lot of Red Bull drivers made mistakes on their F1 debut and still don't do well in the past. So I'm not going to judge Lawson just yet because it's only his first race and he hasn't raced much in Australia. Plus, he didn't have much time in FP3 either. So, Lawson, I think it will just be a learning experience for him this weekend before he could step it up in China.
Yeah, as Jess said, this is one of the first times that Liam Lawson is stepping foot onto the Australian track. I also want to mention that Red Bull is not at their height right now. They don't have their 2023 car. Max Verstappen is just such a masterclass. He can do anything and whatever machinery, rain, snow. We haven't seen snow yet. I hope not. But he's just such a masterclass and just trying to keep up with Max Verstappen, especially as a rookie, especially as someone who hasn't been on this track competitively yet. It's definitely going to be a lot harder for Liam Lawson. We definitely saw that in qualifying to keep up the pace with Max Verstappen and that's the main issue with the second seat of Red Bull trying to keep up with a masterclass and exceptional world champion like Max.
Do you think that he's good enough for seat number 2 in Red Bull if Lawson doesn't perform?
I do think he's good enough for that seat. I just don't know if he wants it. I think we've seen an immense amount of pressure on that second Red Bull seat. And I think Yuki is finally driving without a chip on his shoulder per se, or with a point to prove, but like a senior driver. He has been on the grid for so many years now. And I feel like he's really stepping into his own as a team leader. I think he has the confidence and I think he just has the maturity now to be incredibly successful. So if he were to make that jump to the Red Bull second seat, I do think he would have a good performance, a good showing. I just don't know if he'd enjoy it as much as he likes working with his RB team.
Yes, definitely. I feel like Yuki Tsunoda does have the maturity and the time in Formula One to do well in that second seat. This is, again, the first race of the season, so what I say, if you can do it 3 times, then you got it solid down. But this is the first time we're seeing racing bulls and this making it into Q3 at this level with both Hajar barely missing Q3 and Yuki Tsunoda being able to make it into the top 5 for the starting grid. So if they are able to continue doing this and keeping this up, I think Yuki Tsunoda can definitely do great in that Red Bull seat.
Tsunoda already proved that he will be fine for Red Bull. He always beats his teammates. He performed well and he helped to develop the car. Honestly, I don't know why Red Bull is promoting everyone else except him.
Yeah, I think Tsunoda is driving that his life depends on it. So I think Tsunoda's going to have a great season.